There was a death sentence written on every brick of Jericho. While kings locked themselves in their palaces and generals polished their swords, heaven had already decreed, no one was to leave those walls alive. What no one tells you is that the only free pass to survival wasn't handed to a hero or a saint, but to a woman the city preferred to forget. Rahab didn't win by strength. She won through the courage to betray a doomed system to embrace a scarlet hope. Prepare to understand that judgment does not look for perfection. It looks for the signal. On that wall it was proven. Your past may have condemned you, but what you hang in your window today is what decides if you stand tall or fall with the city. Jericho was the iron gate of Canaan. Its walls were double, colossal, and impenetrable. The context was one of pure terror. The inhabitants heard the rumors. A people were coming from the desert, a people whose God opened the Red Sea and overthrew giants. The air in Jericho was thick. The fear wasn't just of a physical invasion. It was a spiritual dread. They knew their time was up. The city was a center of idolatry and dark rituals. The atmosphere was one of an imminent judgment that no one dared to name. But atop those walls, in a house many avoided, lived Rahab. She watched the horizon, felt the ground tremble, and she knew the God of heaven and earth was coming. Then, something breaks the normalcy. Two men enter through the gates. They aren't merchants or ordinary travelers. They are spies from Israel. The most logical decision for a woman like Rahab would be to turn them in and gain the favor of the king of Jericho. But here arises the question that moves the universe. Why did she hide them? Why would a woman of Jericho betray her own people to protect strangers? Rahab didn't just see two men. She saw an opportunity to escape death row. She made a pact in the dark, while the king's soldiers banged on her door. Rahab was in conflict. On the outside, her city, her people, and her culture. On the inside, the promise of a God she didn't yet know face to face, but already feared with all her heart. She pleads for the lives of her family. The spy's answer is short, but carries eternal weight. They hand her a scarlet cord, a simple red thread. They say, "Hang this in your window. If you are inside this house under this signal, you will live." It sounds too simple, doesn't it? A piece of cloth against an army? But that thread wasn't just dyed wool. It was the prophetic echo of the blood on the doorposts of Egypt. It was the red line that connected Rahab's sin to the redemption of an entire world. And then the silence. For 6 days, the army of Israel marched around Jericho. No one shouted. No one attacked. Only the sound of trumpets and the footsteps of thousands. Imagine the tension inside that house. Rahab looked out and saw the walls vibrating. Her neighbors laughed, mocked, or locked themselves away in terror. The collective fear was a mist. She stared at the scarlet thread. Would it work? Would they forget her? God's strategic silence is the ultimate test of faith. 7 days waiting for death. Or a miracle. On the 7th day, the 7th circle. A shout pierces the air. The walls, those eternal stones, begin to crumble as if made of sand. Dust, screams, chaos. Jericho is falling. The destruction is total. But wait. Look at that section of the wall. There, where the scarlet thread sways in the wind. That part of the wall does not fall. While everything around it turns to ruin and judgment, Rahab's house remains standing, like an island of mercy in an ocean of destruction. The signal in the window wasn't an ornament. It was an invisible shield. Rahab didn't just survive. She was adopted. She became part of the people of God. The woman once seen as the unclean of Jericho became the ancestor of King David and, ultimately, of Jesus Christ himself. God didn't save Rahab for who she was, but for what she believed. Today, Jericho still represents the systems of this world that are destined to fall. And I ask you, what is the signal in your window? In the midst of chaos and judgment, where is your faith? Because in the end, everyone seems marked by fate, but only those who hold on to the scarlet thread find deliverance. Are you ready for what happens when the walls come down?